What's up, guys? It's Chachi Power here. Today I'm going to do a video response called the Getting to Know a Transformer Fan. So I thought it'd be cool to do. I've watched a few and they're pretty fun because you get to know stuff about certain reviewers that you may not have known. So I thought it'd be fun to do for you guys since I do dabble in Transformers here and there. So this is a response to KalelPrime. I have his video up right now with the questions, so I don't have planned what I'm going to say. I haven't really thought about it, which is probably the best way for me to answer these questions, just off the top of my head. But question number one: how long have you been a Transformers fan? So that's a good question. I really don't know. It's as far back as I can remember. I was living in Queens. Above all, I think I'm a robot fan. So, I mean, as evident by my collection, it's right behind us is no Transformers to be seen. Just really on the side here, there's a few Transformers. The display case off to my right here has my Masterpiece stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and say all of my, I guess since they came out, I've been a fan. The only thing, living in Queens, I did have access to Japanese toys or Taiwan knockoffs. So my memories go back so far. It's really hard to say how long, but I'm 36 years old, and Transformers, mid 80s. So basically when they came out, we weren't very I'm not going to say poor, but we didn't really have money to get stuff, so it was me just more looking at other kids having Transformers and wanting them. So yeah, I mean, and through the 90s, I guess I was in my 20s, just getting out of high school stuff, like 18 and 20s in the 90s, and I didn't give a crap really about toys or robots or anything. I kind of still liked them. Like every once in a while I'd pick something up, but I had other stuff on my mind, like girls. I was in a band, a hardcore band, just crazy stuff. So there's no exact number, just really since I was a kid I've been a Transformer fan. So question number two: what's my earliest memory of Transformers? I don't know exactly what my earliest is, but I do remember being in some type of art class. I don't know what grade I was in. I don't want to take any guesses, but I do remember a certain class we were making pots where we would roll out the clay into long strips like snakes and then roll them around and make like little cups and stuff. And there were two kids, and they weren't necessarily my friends because otherwise I would have asked them to borrow the Transformers and never give them back. But one had Sideswipe and one had Sunstreaker. And I remember I was watching them transforming, and I thought it was the awesomest thing ever. I think that's probably my earliest memory of seeing a Transformer up close. And I just remember thinking, wow, those toys are just excellent. And then I have the memories of seeing, and I don't know if this was before seeing those Transformers, but I would see, I remember seeing Shockwave a lot in Chinese stores. I guess they were knockoffs and knockoff Megatrons. However, I think the Megatrons may have been those Diaclones, or the whatever line he was in before Transformers, because they had, at the time, I don't know if it was Chinese writing or Japanese, but I'm assuming they were Diaclone or whatever. And of course, no money to get those, so sucks. But question number three: who is my favorite Transformer of all time? It's hard to say because I've never really just liked just one Transformer, but if I don't want to sound like cliche or anything, but I would have to be Optimus Prime, because he was like the most elusive to me as a kid. Like I said, I saw the Sideswipe and the Sunstreaker, but like the Optimus Prime was always like the ooh, when you're a kid back then, the star of the show is Optimus Prime, and he was one of the biggest Transformers at the time, and only the cool kids had him, I guess. We didn't have a lot of money, so I never got Optimus Prime, but it was always like, wow, Optimus Prime, I would love to have that. So, he's a little boring to me now, unless it's like strictly classic looking, like the masterpiece Optimus Prime. But that crap with the movies, like this stuff, like doesn't do anything for me, really. And I can deal with this, which is a more modern toy, but it's obviously, classic inspired. So yeah, I would have to say Optimus Prime. So, what's the next question? What is my most prized Transformers possession? And there's different ways of going about answering that question. One is it something that you've wanted all your life and suddenly come across? Is there some type of nostalgia attached to it? Most of the reason I collect is because I was incredibly I was a huge fan of robots as a kid, and I didn't have the robot toys I wanted to have as a kid. It was always like everybody had the toys, and I was always, in the background like, oh, I wish I could have that. And, unfortunately, like I said, we weren't poor, but, there was no money for stuff like that. There were other more important things, my mom and dad were separated, so it was really just my mom taking care of me. So she had other stuff that were priorities. So I think for me, nostalgia-wise, meaning like something that has a lot of value to me, and I'm glad I found this recently because I can show you in the video, but some of you guys, maybe some of you younger guys don't have any nostalgia attached to you yet, but when you're older, anything that reminds you of your youth and gives you those memories that you try and latch onto, always has some kind of value to it. So I'm going to have to say my Hound. This is the very first G1, like full-blown G1 toy that I had. The other thing I had was like a Bumblebee, but I think I remember with the Bumblebee I really had to beg for that, and that's one of the cheapest Transformers back then. But I do remember this was on clearance, and it was my only chance to really get a nice Transformer. Of course, I wanted Sunstreaker, or Sideswipe, or Jazz, but he was the one that was on clearance, so I got him, and I love him. I mean, it kind of grows on you. I'm not a Jeep guy, but this does end up growing on you. So this has become my most prized possession, although it's missing the head. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. I'm missing the weapons. I'm sure I'll run into them, but the head I'm definitely missing. The little mirrors on the fenders are still there, which is cool. So it's pretty much intact. So I hope to restore this guy with some new stickers. Or maybe I'll leave him like that, because that's really the way I had him as a kid. So, and it's just amazing how these things just hold up over time, Now, as far as most prized that I've gotten recently, I don't know. As far as value, or I really don't know. I don't know what the meaning of the prized is. Like I said, the value to me was nostalgia, which is why I chose this poor little Hound here. But as far as, I'm not going to say I'm a huge Transformer fan to the point where I'm looking at old stuff to buy. In fact, I haven't bought any old G1 toys. I think the only one I bought because it was cheap was the Rodimus Prime with the trailer, and I tried to restore it, and it's somewhere. I gotta get stickers for it. But as far as me going out and looking for some kind of like holy grail, I haven't done it. I think actually, some of you guys might think it's corny, but I did pick up a little micro change Laserbeak, the Condor. I thought that was cool, because that was one of the other ones I had as a kid. All my Transformers as a kid were the very small, cheap Transformers. So I had a knockoff Condor, and when you start thinking about stuff about youth, you tend to go out and look for it. That's a lot of what my collection is based on. You end up trying to find the toys you had as a kid. But so I got the bootleg Condor, which is the exact same one I had as a kid. But then I'm like, let me see if I can find a micro change one. I found it. I paid $60 for it. I don't know if that's a lot or a little, but you know, I didn't want to search and search and search. So I got one mint. So, you know, I think I've gone off subject, but it says here, where in the world do you come from or live? So I was born in Colombia in 1975. We lived there a very short amount of time. We moved here, basically grew up here. We moved to Queens, that's in New York City, and that's where Queens was very responsible for me liking robots, because like I said, you had access to all these Chinese stores. You're close by to, you know, Chinatown we visit once in a while. My mom worked by there. So obviously, because it's an Asian-oriented area and everything, all the toys are robots, you know. You know, you had like He-Man and whatever. But then when you go to these other stores, they had all these shiny chrome robots that were just always cool. Like, they didn't feel plasticky and cheap. Like, you pick them up and you just know that there's something special about them. So that's what got me hooked. After Queens, we moved here to New Jersey. It was quite a bit of change, you know, not as busy. People actually brought cookies to your door. It's not like that now. It's pretty much almost a ghetto now, but at least back then, you know, it was very friendly. But yeah, so I'm in New Jersey now. Question number 6 is, outside of Transformers, what do you do with your life? Well, I got a job. I have a family. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful daughter. The daughter's newer. The wife I've been with for, you know, not a long time, about three years, maybe known her a little bit over that. But yeah, so the whole family thing's relatively new to me, especially the baby. She's only 8 months. But let's rewind a bit. I told you I was in a hardcore band. It's more of a hardcore punk, because right now hardcore, there's a lot of bands saying they're hardcore and it's really just metal. You know, and they're just really a metal band with short hair. But the type of hardcore that I was into is a punk type hardcore, where it's more like a crossover. If you guys are into hardcore, I don't know, I might be talking out of my butt right now, but so I did that for a while. I kind of started to merge into cars. I've always liked cars all my life, but I started to get a little more serious. I started, you know, turbocharging my cars and going to the drag race, and then, you know, that got really expensive. And then I would start to watch. I got into the Japanese culture, obviously, through the robots or whatever, what have you. And I started picking up Japanese videos, and there was always sections in the videos where these old, ugly cars would be sliding around, and then I'd always forward through it. I'm like, this is so stupid. You know, I want to get to where the skylines and the, you know, the race cars are. And eventually I would start watching the cars that would slide around. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. And I'm like, these are the cars I see in the street sometimes, like the 240 SX, the old Toyota Corolla. And all of a sudden I got the bug for it. Now, what I'm trying to get at is drifting. I was heavily into drifting for a few years. So I ended up picking up a 240, you know, just because I wanted to be cool like the people on TV, but I wasn't in that mentality that I'm going to go out and start drifting, because there was nowhere to do it, you know, and I'm not down for doing crap on the street like an idiot and crashing into stuff. So I built a car, and then locally they started events for drifting like right after I got the car, so it was like meant to be. So I did that for a few years. That's really all I did. I mean, I messed up a few relationships because of how intense I was with the drifting, but it ended up paying off. I mean, I got to the point where I was actually a sponsored driver by a major tire company, and I started off with small sponsors, you know. The first time I got sponsored, it was like amazing, because they sent me some products and they were free, and I was like, wow, this is like intense. I'd fix up my car and I'd use that to get other sponsors. Like, hey, these guys send me stuff, you know, you guys can send me stuff. And before you know it, my car just looked like a sticker store just blew up on it. It was just sponsors everywhere. It was a bit sloppy. But, you know, I'd hook up with friends that would go to the events, and then we'd end up going to lots and practice. And eventually we just made a team out of it. Just to make a long story short, I think I'm dragging on right now. But yeah, we made a team out of it, and we were actually pretty well known. We've been in magazines. We've had drivers. We'd have people that are on a team that moved on after our team pretty much stopped, and they've gone on to be very famous drivers. Some of them even went on to beat out Japanese drivers, and they're, I'm not talking about amateurs. I'm talking professional Japanese drifters. Like, I don't want to start saying names and stuff, but if you're into drifting, think of all the cool drivers, and those are some of the people I'm talking about. So, yeah, so I did that, and some bad business decisions were made. Money was part of the whole issue there, and when when money's involved, people tend to change, people tend to get greedy, and I was always the type to be a little too friendly, a little too nice, and people took advantage of that, and it just went horrible. Then I kind of lost motivation. Sponsors started to drop off. I started to get a little lazy trying to get sponsors for the next year, and I just kind of wanted to have fun with it. And eventually, no more tire sponsor, and that meant spending more money, so I stopped. So now I have a family, and I can't believe how long I spent on that question. But I mean, I've done a lot. There's so much more, but those were the two major things: band and drifting, which are the two things that I really, got involved in. Oh, and how can I forget? Now, moving on past that, I'm also a reviewer, writer, a behind-the-scenes guy for Collection DX. So, and you guys may be wondering how I got into that. And I'm going to try and keep it short. I don't want this video running forever. But basically, when I got back into robots and stuff, you do your searches, whatever. Collection DX kept popping up, and I was just reading the reviews. I thought this was an excellent site, So I don't exactly know how it happened. I think maybe I wrote into them and told them that I wanted to do a review. They let me do one, and it was pretty successful for a first-time review, I guess. He liked it, so I joined on board. Eventually, I just kept doing more reviews, and I helped them out with Toy Fair since I live local to New York. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Even though my other two careers are pretty much done, at least there's something still for me to do. That's something I'm passionate about. So I do recommend visiting Collection DX, supporting those guys. I mean, Josh is a really cool guy, puts all his heart and passion into that site, and so do all the writers and reviewers and what have you. So what is the origin of my YouTube screaming? Well, there's two parts to that. The Chachi, this goes back to drifting. My first time drifting, before anybody knew me, I had a helmet on. I was getting ready to go out on the track for the first time, just so I can go ahead and spin around like an idiot. Someone came up to me. I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been, because he did mention that he gave me the name, but this name I will mention. His name is Tony Angelo. You guys might know him from Drift Alliance. He drove the RX-7. Yeah, I don't remember if it was him, but he says he gave me the name. But basically what happened is they came up to me through the window with a microphone to find out what my name was. And I said, Charles. And they're like, what? And I said, Charles. And I guess he didn't hear me. He just basically went like this and just was like, I don't know, his name's Chachi. So that's how I got the name, believe it or not. And the power, I went out with this Korean girl that was very into modeling, and she was also like into cars herself. She's like a gearhead and into motorcycles. She was more of a guy than I am, and I don't mean that because she was like, rah. I mean that like she was just like die hard with cars, and she loved getting oil on her hands, like, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, ee with the oil, even though I work on my own cars, not a thing for me. But Yeah, so she did like her modeling thing. She liked to design her own clothes, and she sent me a picture of boy shorts, and on the back of the boy shorts it said Chachi Power. I think that's where it said Chachi Power. But I just remember an ass with boy shorts, and then right across it said Chachi Power, and I thought that was pretty funny. So the power stuck that way. So that's how I got the name. And whose videos do I enjoy watching? That is kind of like one of those things where if you mention people, you know, it's cool. But if you forget certain people, then it's not cool, because then like you might offend people. You know what I mean? Like, it's always nice to hear your name, and it's going to be very difficult to name everybody I watch. Like, I have tons of subscribers, and I try and check out the channels. Like, I'll click on the name and see what's up, you know. But if I click on it and I see like a bunch of what are those things where like the animes, like, kind of like they're kissing each other, like stuff like that. Like, I can't get into that, and I apologize if I don't watch those videos. But you know, but if I see you know, I go in there and you're doing reviews or you're doing stuff with cars, something I'm into, of course I'm going to watch it. But I can't name every freaking person. So I'm just going to name the ones that you know, are pretty much well known by a bunch of people. Let's see. I'm going to start off with one that's very controversial. Some people hate his guts, and other people love him. And the reason some people may hate him, just some people don't understand humor, even though it's very offensive. It's not really meant to offend. I think his thing with offending people is just to, I guess, weed out and or just comb out, like a, I don't know the word, but like to just weed out the people that he doesn't want watching his channel. Because some people get it, and some people don't get it. And his name is Robot Adventures. Like I was watching I think it was a review for Paraglide, that big Paraglide. And I'm watching it, and he's like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was like, wow, what did he just say that? And I would rewind it, and sure enough, he said what I thought he said, and it was just like, and I thought it was funny, because usually when you watch videos, everybody's like, yeah, so this thing turns here, this thing, and as he's talking about like people bending over old ladies and shoving monkey fists in their butt. Like, he says stuff like that. It has nothing to do with the toy, but it's just funny, you know. I don't consider myself a vulgar person, but you know, I know funny when I see it, and I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm Colombian. You know, people make fun of Colombians. You know, oh, we snort drugs and stuff like that. I'll laugh if it's funny. If it's not funny, I'm not going to get offended. I mean, whatever. Like, if everybody could just get along. But there, you know, obviously there are some people that are very racist, and those jokes don't come out, you know, the way they're supposed to. But, you know, when it's meant in humor, you know what I mean? Like, if I have like a, you know, if I have a friend who's a certain nationality, I'm not going to mention any nationality because I don't want to piss anybody off in case you guys don't get it, but I will make fun of that nationality. I will say, you know, oh, you guys do this. I'm joking. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I do that a lot. I start to branch off like the girl from American Pie with the band camp thing. But so anyway, that's one guy, Robot Adventures. Another one I watch is Questlife, which is what actually inspired me to do this video. I watched his video with his answers, so that made me want to do this. So thank you for that video. His videos tend to run long, and he knows that. And he does recommend once in a while to, you know, there's a section that you're not interested in, you know, just forward through it. But I tend to just stick around for the videos. It's usually right before I go to bed. I got a little bit of free time, I'll check it out. So I started watching him when he did a Sunstreaker bootleg video. At the time I was looking to buy one. You know, and I enjoyed the videos, and I subscribed, and he's still making cool videos. And he tends to take drives around and tell you what he's doing, and I thought that was pretty cool. let's see, who else? Obviously, Collection DX. I guess I shouldn't say they. It's more like we, you know. But everybody puts up videos all the time. There's a lot of content. Just excellent stuff. I guess I can't really count them because I do stuff for them. I don't want to sound like I'm plugging, even though I am. The Collector 75. Now, he's very popular with the Transformers. I've seen a lot of his videos. It almost seems like he's almost like in a small contained space, and somehow he has like the most ridiculous collection. Like he'll just pull out stuff from everywhere. I don't know how he does it. I barely have room for this. I don't know if you guys picture this room being big. Like this is how wide it is. Like here's a wall, here's a shelf. Like I'm contained in a little tiny corner, but it's the freaking most awesome corner on the planet. Like if you could just be trapped in a corner, wouldn't you want to be trapped in this corner and just pick out any freaking toy? Anyway, yeah, so he does reviews. Love his accent. Like, I love when he says right. So check out his videos, see what I'm talking about. You just look at something, he's like, tell you something, he's like, right. And he throws in these little curse words here and there, and you know, because he sounds like so pleasant, and then out of nowhere he'll just say fuck. You know, not like that, but like he'll describe something with that word, and I think it's so funny. I watch a little bit of Sean Long, and you know, I don't know how to describe it. Like if he was to watch this, I don't want him to get offended, but his voice gets a little hard to listen to sometimes because he's like so energetic. Like it almost seems like he's just there's no period in his sentences. Like so if you watch Sean Long, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I watch his stuff because he's, you know, if there's one thing I gotta say about him is he is dedicated. Like this guy, I don't know if he clones himself to make all these damn videos, but I mean, and he's, you know, he just got so much stuff. Like he did a tour of his house, and like while I can't have a house like that because my wife would stab me in the gut a few times, it's just cool to see, you know, like be able to just live like that. Just like come in, and not that I want to be messy or anything. I know he's going through a fixing phase or whatever, like he's just fixing his stuff, but you know, this is just a lot of crap, and like all my stuff is like stored away, and like it almost seems like he has his stuff like where he wants to, you know, he can just grab whatever he wants, you know. But yeah, he does pretty cool stuff. He wears costumes, which I think is hilarious sometimes, you know. And a lot of people leave negative comments, but it's like, whatever, you know. I hope he doesn't care what people say. Now, another one that I like to watch, because he's kind of funny just to watch. He makes faces, and he just draws you into the videos, is Decompose, which is Decompose. It's not all reviews, like he just talks about movies and whatever he feels like talking about, which is cool. So I like to watch that. Then I'm also subscribed to Hobby Link Japan. They do nice write-ups for building Gundams, which I don't know if I'll get back into building Gundams. When I sucked at painting is when I would build kits. So kind of like my memories of building kits is like, I just get really annoyed, and there's so much effort that goes into them. So, but I like to watch because I do a little bit of customizing on the side, you know, my own stuff, but not too much. You know, and I do watch a lot of stuff. I can't get into everybody. Like there's Mantis 99s, there's Moggy 215, John 3.0, just a bunch of people. And I really would like to go through all the people that I watch. It's just not possible, but those are pretty much the people that put up a lot of videos, and I end up watching them and whatnot. But question number 9. Which Transformer is your holy grail? Again, that kind of ties into one of the previous questions, which is, what is your most prized Transformer's possession? However, that question speaks about a possession. This is a holy grail, what may or may not be in your possession. So it's a fair question. My holy grail for Transformers. I'm gonna have to say I don't have one. Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that would be a holy grail for Transformers. Yeah, so that's my answer to that. I mean, I don't know. Question 10. Now, I don't know if this is the most recent listing. I see there's a few videos with different questions, so I'll just go through these questions and whatever. But question 10 is pretty interesting. If you could transform into anything, what would it be? Now, I don't know if that's transformer related, like if I wanted to turn into a vehicle or if I want to turn into something, but I don't know. If I could turn into anything, it'd probably have to be, I don't know, if I could just turn into anything for one day, or have the option of turning into whatever, it'd have to be something like Ultraman or Godzilla or Voltron, which is kind of weird because I have to split up into 5 lions, so I don't know about that. Yeah, like Ultraman or something. My wife can't stand Ultraman, so it'd be kind of cool to just, like, when she pisses me off, just turn into Ultraman and, kick butt for about 3 minutes before I gotta fly away and recharge. But, or Godzilla. But, I'd be pretty hated for stepping on big buildings. But yeah, like if I just transform and just go nuts, it'd have to be something big like that, or Daitarn. Daitarn doesn't really split into anything, but he's kind of silly. I don't know. I guess that's my answer to that. And this goes on. Alright, what's the best toy I've purchased? This is question number 12. I'm going to skip over 11. I'm already making this video way too long. Question 11 is how close have you come to getting a Holy Grail? I'm assuming they're talking about a Transformer. Again, don't have a Holy Grail, so no answer to that. But question 12, what has been the best toy you have purchased over the last 12 months? And that's a really hard question. Over the last 12 months, I've just bought so much awesome crap. And when I say crap, I mean like in a good way. It's something that really stands out past month. Probably Daltanius back here. It's just amazing, this toy. I don't know if that's I think it's the past year. As a matter of fact, I could take him out if you guys want to check him out. You want to check him out? Yes? Okay. Don't stare at me bum. I know you're looking at my butt. Don't look at it. I know you're trying to peek in the corner there. Look at my butt. Don't do it. So let me carefully get him out. And anytime I say that, something breaks. But let's see. Oh, almost knocked over Mecha Godzilla. So the best toy I've gotten in the past 12 months. I'm pretty sure this was the past 12 months. It feels like longer, but this is awesome. And actually, there's a tie between this and God Sigma. God Sigma is up in there, behind Little Zabungle. Probably can see his legs there. I don't like touching that guy because he's the only one I have, so if he falls or breaks, I'm going to be very pissed off. But Daltanius is part of my nostalgia because it was the first gigantic metal robot I had as a kid. So this is the new version. This is a Solar Chugoking. So I would have to say this is the best toy. And it's, as far as toys are concerned, maybe this is not really a toy. It's more of a collectible. So I don't know if that's a fair way to answer that question. Because the toy is meant to be played with. This you can play with, but you don't want to give this to a kid. Let's put it that way. So if I have to really choose a toy, oh, it's such a tough question. I don't know. There's so much cool crap out there. We're gonna, put it in terms of an actual toy. Probably, I had to stop the video for a second to put Daltanius away, and because my brain just froze with that question. I mean, that's a question that'll lock up any brain. But, and then it goes on to ask, like, what's the best piece of Transformers fiction ever? I don't read any of that. I'm more of a visual, yeah, I like that. That looks cool type. Like when I was a kid, and then I think I almost remember seeing Transformers before the show even came out, so that has probably a lot to do with the Diaclone being out back then when I was really young. So my I didn't collect comics for Transformers, so there's nothing I can read. I'm sure this stuff is great. Like sometimes I see people showing it, and it's like, wow, we really want to read that. I just really don't have the time. And I'm just going to skip to question 15, which is, what aside from Transformers do you enjoy as a hobby and why? I was into drifting, you know, I played guitar in a hardcore band. But those weren't really hobbies because I was getting paid for them, but they started off as hobbies, but I don't do them now. So aside from Transformers, oh, well, obvious. The question says it right there, aside from Transformers. So, aside from Transformers, I collect robots. And more robots. And I've recently been getting into, like, other stuff which I want to stop doing. And that's collecting 1/6 scale. First of all, they piss me off. Second of all, they're expensive. And third, they're kind of like, it's kind of pushing away from what I started collecting, and it's kind of making what I feel makes it like messy. I used to think having a focused collection was limiting, but then when I start to branch out to other stuff, then I start thinking like I'm just losing focus and I'm just buying stuff to buy it. So I want to stop collecting 1/6 toys. I don't like using the stands, and they're always falling over, and the paint is rubbing off on stuff. They piss me off. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even know where I was going with that. But what was the question? Oh, what do I enjoy as a hobby? So, and I was talking about stuff I've been branching out into. I've been buying a lot of Ultraman stuff. You know, got one hanging out here. Well, this isn't actually Ultraman here, but it's part of the Ultra series. You know, Godzilla. Love Godzilla stuff. Love Godzilla stuff. That's another thing from my past, but back then, never picked up any Godzilla toys, so I'm making up for that now. I've been picking up other stuff, like I said, that's not robot related, like Thundercats. I think that line of toys is amazing. I'm not going to call it the best toy I've gotten in the past 12 months, but the Thundercats are definitely really cool. You know, the classic ones, and then I got them up there. I can't see them. And I guess that's it, guys. This video is probably like 52 hours. Thank God I don't have the 15-minute limit, because I'd have to split it up into like 92 episodes. So, yeah, I think that's it. You know, it's very hard to keep this type of video short, because if you're going to get to know somebody, they got to give you a lot of information. Now, believe me, there's just so much stuff this video cannot possibly contain. Don't feel like you know me from watching this video, because there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff that I've done in my life besides those things, and I wish I could do like a video of that, but probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, that's it. So let me know what you guys think of the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. If you want to share some of your stories, either make a video like this, or post comments below. And I think that's it, guys. So we're going to wrap it up, edit this video so you guys can watch it, and that's it. So till next time, bye-bye.